Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited to share with you my eyeshadow palette collection 2021 edition. I wanted to see the start of my collection and then maybe do a follow-up at the end of the year to see if my collection grows. I love watching these videos on YouTube, and so I'm excited to share this with you. I love makeup, and I do makeup and lifestyle content every Tuesday, and on Fridays I do computer science, technology, and career-related content. So if you like what you see, please put a comment down below and subscribe for more videos like this. I love hearing from you and connecting with you, and with that, let's get into the video. So I have loved makeup since I was in high school. This by no means is an extremely big collection. However, I do have a few of my favorite palettes in here. I've purchased them all myself. I've never received something for free, and if I ever do, I'll tell you guys. And so I just wanted to share this with you. We'll start from some of the newer options and then work our way through. So this is the Colourpop Dream Street palette. This is my first palette I've ever gotten from Colourpop, and this was a collaboration with Kathleen Lights. This I got in June 20th, 2019. I went through the trouble of marking everything so that I could see how new and old everything is, but this palette definitely made me fall in love with Colourpop and their formula. I just think there's a lot of versatility with these different shades. I especially like this shade right here. This one just looks so pretty as like kind of like a unique inner corner highlight. And then the next palette that I got from Colourpop is the Going Coconuts palette. This one I got in December 30th, 2019. This is kind of like a neutral everyday sort of eyeshadow palette, and honestly I think this palette's a bit overhyped. I think it's good for like a neutral palette, but it's nothing crazy that I'm into. This shade is probably the shade everybody likes the most, but it's very crumbly and kind of hard to work with. So it looks pretty when you swatch it, but sometimes when you apply it on your eyelid, it kind of looks crumbly, and I'm not about to try to do backflips for makeup here, so that is what this palette looks like. And then the next eyeshadow palette I got from Colourpop is the So Jaded palette, and this I got July 10th, 2020. This is another collaboration with Kathleen Lights, and I just think this is such a beautiful palette. There's so many different options you have here to create colorful looks and also everyday looks. Just something to add a little something extra for your normal kind of basic makeup. I like that it has some of the brighter shades in here too, because I'm someone who usually does dark makeup, but it's cool to mix it up and add some pretty colors. I used Peridot, this green shade, in a tutorial, and I really liked how it looked on the eyes. I think it was so pretty. So this is one of my favorite palettes from Colourpop. Some people think that like the pressed glitters are kind of an issue. I think 2 in a big palette is fine, but when there's too many pressed glitters, then I kind of get annoyed. But overall, I absolutely love this palette, and I need to create more looks with it this year. And then the most recent palette that I purchased from Colourpop is the Star Wars The Mandalorian The Child's palette, which of course is Baby Yoda themed. It has this cute little mirror, and it says cutest in the galaxy, and there's some beautiful green shades in here, and also some brown tones. If just like me, I like to use brown tones every day, and a pop of gold. And you have their Super Shock formula, which is also my favorite formula from Colourpop, and so I really like this palette, and I need to use it a little bit more. So now on to the next makeup brand, and this one I discovered in the past year as well. This is Oden's Eye Cosmetics, and this palette is the Salmon palette. I got this June 2020, and I am super pleased with it. It has a variety of brown tones and neutrals, and of course a pop of this beautiful purple shade right in there. It's kind of hard to see how pretty it is in there. I'll do a little swatch right here and see if you can see how much that pops, like so much color payoff right there. Geez, my swatches are struggling right now, but bear with me, folks. And I used this eyeshadow palette today, and I'm trying to use more. This is also another beautiful transformative shade from them. Really, really impressed. It's like a green gold shift. And then I also purchased the Alva palette, and this has more, I got this June 2020 as well in the same order, and this one has more purpley tones and then pops of orange. And I don't like how some of the purples look on my eyes. I feel like they make me look a little bruised, which is kind of not always the vibe I'm going for, but I do like the more sparkly and shimmery shades in here, and the yellow's really pretty and pigmented. So that's really nice too. And then like this purple shade is probably my favorite shade in the whole palette right here. Moving on to the next palette. This one I've done a video with, and this collaboration with Beverly and Anastasia Cosmetics. I got this in 2020, and it's called the Venice Fling palette. So it's kind of like a sunset inspired palette, like inspired by Venice Beach. And I really liked how it had a bright purple and a bright yellow in it, bright yellow gold. And I need to experiment a little bit more with this, but I'm really happy with how it's looking and different looks that I've put together so far. Here is a swatch of the purple. It's just so, so pretty. Let me see if that will kind of show like just how beautiful it is. And then moving on. So the next palette I have here is the Dose of Colors Desi x Katie Friendcation palette. I got this in April 2020. It wasn't when it launched, but they were having a good deal, and so I picked this up for 20 or 30 bucks. And the shades in here are absolutely stunning. I've kind of played around with this side right here with the kind of more neutral tones, and I want to experiment a little bit more with these beautiful shades as well. So I'll just swatch two of them right here because they're so, so, so pretty, and I really just need to give them more of the spotlight because I just haven't really played around with them. But I'm excited about this palette. I heard a lot of good things, and I'm going to keep doing looks with it, and we're going to create more fun looks for 2021. Now, going on to my most expensive palette, this is from Pat McGrath or Pat McGrath Labs, and I got this December 25th, 2019, and yes, it is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, beautiful. There are no words. These four shades are like the transformative type of shades that people talk about. It's like a very unique formula, and it's kind of hard to describe without actually having you see it and feel it in person, because it's just so, so stunning and sparkly, and I don't even know if you can see how it catches the light, but I thought this palette had a variety of colors and tones, and so that's why I wanted to purchase this one. You can also do neutral looks, and I've done, I think, like a neutral look with this on my channel, and I've also used the copper on my channel, so I want to experiment a little bit more with this one. So I will keep you posted with that and how that goes. Okay, so now for my older makeup. This is the oldest palette in my collection, and if you see it in my videos, it's because I like to use the mirror because it's very light, and I also, when I use this, it doesn't get in the way when I'm filming. And so I got this. This is the Naked Urban Decay Basics palette, the original Basics. This I got around September 2013, so quite some time ago. This shade actually broke when I was on vacation, and it definitely ruined my makeup bag, so that wasn't a good time, but I did love how these shades performed. I especially liked this for inner corner highlighting and under the brow bone highlighting, and yeah, it was a good palette. This brown shade, when it used to be there, I could use it to fill in my eyebrows, so that was nice. And I still will probably keep it just to have a mirror that's really light and easy to do my makeup with, but if I can replace that, then I'll be excited about that. Okay, moving on to Anastasia Beverly Hills. So this is the only thing I've owned that's an eyeshadow palette from them, but I use their brow stuff all the time. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lavish palette, and this was released around October 2013, and I love this color story. It actually kind of reminds me of the Pat McGrath color story, which is kind of funny, and I can use this and it still performs well, so I'm not going to throw it away, but it is one of my older palettes. I do think this purple shade is super pretty. It's called Pink Sapphire. So I'll just put that right around here if you can see that. And so I like that one. And Orange Soda, I think they've replicated Orange Soda in some of their other palettes because it's a really good transition shade. Rum Cake looks so pretty all over the lid. Moss is also a good green color, and this is kind of like a dull silver, and I just will say that that color didn't age well, so I probably won't put that one on my eyes. But yeah, Sienna, also a really good shade for deepening up the crease for warm toned eyes. And then going on to another Olds palette, and we're getting into more controversial makeup that I probably won't buy from this brand again. And so this is the Few of My Favorite Things palette. This was a holiday collection from Too Faced Cosmetics, and this was something I got around November 2013. So this is another Olds palette in my collection. I do appreciate the variety of shades that they have in here. A lot of neutrals and then pops of color. Okay, so I'll swatch Coquette and Tinsel on my arms. Here's Coquette and Tinsel. Those ones are really shimmery and nice and pretty. I mean, I clearly didn't use this a lot back when I first got it, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep using it just because I'm not super huge supporter of this particular brand anymore, but I do like that this palette brings me back to, I think 7th or 8th grade is when I got this. This is when I started to experiment with makeup and have fun with it, and also this was a gift, I'm pretty sure, from one of my best friends, so it does have sentimental value, which is why I hold on to it. So now moving on to the brand Morphe. So I first purchased from Morphe in 2018. This was the first palette that I bought from them, and this is the 35R Ready Set Gold palette. This had a bunch of brown shades and then a bunch of shimmery shades too. I know the 350 palette was super hyped, but I wanted something that had some beautiful, sparkly, shimmery kind of shades rather than just having more variety of matte shades. And so this color, for instance, is like a very good inner corner highlight, which I like, and then it has some good colors. For example, when I'm filling in my brows, I usually use this color now because I used to use my other palette, but then it broke. So it's got a lot of variety of brown tones, which are very flattering on pretty much anyone's eye color. However, now that I know a little bit more about Morphe, I'm not sure if they're 100% transparent with their audience all the time, and so that kind of turns me off from purchasing more. But yeah, I didn't realize that until this past year, so we're gonna go to the next palettes that I bought from them. So, the Jaclyn Hill palette, the original palette, original packaging. I got this when it first launched in June 2017. And yes, I was super excited and super thrilled to get this palette, to own it, to be one of the first people that waited on the website and got super excited when I could add this to my cart and check out. It has seen a lot of love. I can give it more love though. I want to work through this palette some more, especially because I just don't want it to keep aging all the time. I want to get some use out of it, but I think a lot of these shades are just super, super beautiful and pigmented, and I'll try to swatch a few of them here because this palette has, I mean, it has the neutrals, which everybody wants, and then also just some pops of color that are really beautiful, some really pretty all over the lid shades as well. And some beautiful transition shades. So I'll show them real quick on my arm, and then at the end I'll also do a close-up of whatever's on my arm. Okay, so the next Morphe product is the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. This one I got February-March 2020, and I didn't get it when it launched right away. I waited a little bit, but I was really inspired by this color story and all the pops of neon pink, neon purple, and orange, and this is a truly beautiful palette, and I do think this formula is really, really good. So I'll just swatch a few of the shades that I really like. I just feel like when I saw this, I was really excited and I thought I could use it for summer and everything, and so that's why I got it. But yeah, over the past few months, I watched different videos and did my research and found out more about Jaclyn Hill and Morphe, so I'm not sure how I feel about purchasing from this brand in the future. And I'll link some of the videos down below if you want to learn more about what I'm talking about. But I've listened to different people and tried to do my own research on this brand to make sure that it's both transparent with its audience and also ethical. So going on to the most controversial brand that I own something from is Jeffree Cosmetics. So this palette is the Androgyny palette, which has been around for a long time, but I didn't end up getting my hands on it until December 30th, 2018. And this color story did really speak to me. Again, it kind of reminds me of some of the tones in the Anastasia Lavish palette, but it is so beautiful. These pans I'll never go through because they're super huge, lots of product, but I love this color story. These blues and greens perform amazingly. The quality here is really beautiful, like definitely one of my favorite eyeshadow formulas here. So yeah, it's a shame that this brand is so controversial, but I really love it, and I will show you some swatches of my favorite shades in the palette. So yeah, this gold is really pretty too. And then this blue, I feel like also too, this color story reminds me of the At Forest Sight palette by Colourpop and Raw Beauty Christie. They kind of give me like similar vibes, and so I thought that was kind of funny that this color story was kind of similar to it. But I absolutely love this red shade, Fetish. Oh my goodness, it's so good for like the outer corner and the crease. But yeah, beautiful palette. That concludes this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please subscribe, leave me a comment down below, and I'll be sure to say hi to you. I love that my audience is growing, and I love making content that you guys want to see, even if there's trains in the background. So thank you guys so much for sticking around, and I will see you on Friday with a new video. How am I going to dress Controversy without actually dressing it? That's a challenge.